Hello everyone, Badjo here, and today we're gonna take a look at some DCS again in the AJS-37 Viggen. And this time we're gonna do some SEAD, suppression of enemy air defenses. So here we have our main target area and it's surrounded by SAMs and AAA. And here we have in the middle, we have the dreaded SA-10 S-300 system. This is an extremely long range. I mean, if we look at the range of these missiles, it's this large. Here's the radar range, and I think this is the search radar, so it's huge. I mean, as soon as we take off, they're gonna see us if we fly high. So we're gonna fly through the valleys and all that, and we're gonna bait them so we can find out their location. Now, this is a system you can easily take it out if you get close, but I'd imagine in real life they probably had a lot more perimeter defenses like this. I don't know, I haven't looked it up at all, but you know, it would be a bit too easy to just fly up there because these are not very agile. They're huge missiles, by the way. We can, like, here's the track radar. That's actually our target, and I don't know why everything is water. That's actually the tracking radar, so here's what the system looks like. Now, it shouldn't be water there though. Huh, very strange. Except the ground doesn't want to win. Maybe it's too far away. But yeah, here you have the launcher itself, and as you can see, those missiles are huge. And this thing sticks up over the tree line, so even if we fly low, this thing can see us. Now, I do see a bit of a problem. It's kind of in a dip. But we're gonna come in from the mountains over there, and we're gonna peek over them constantly. And then when we see this tower, or that one, we're going to shoot at it. And if we take out this tracking radar, then this entire system is useless. You know, they can't track without this radar. So they have plenty of missiles. So we're gonna take it out. Now, a lot of people are really scared of SAMs. And I used to be scared as well. Until I started experimenting with them. And that's when you kind of find out that maybe they aren't as scary as you think they are. Just gonna wait for engine startup. In the meantime, we're gonna rearm. Now we'll do a standard loadout for SEAD. We're gonna have a jammer pod, we're gonna have counter measures, then we're gonna have long range Mavericks. B variant, fuel tank, even though we're not going very far. I'm not gonna bring any air-to-air missiles. Actually, we're gonna bring them because realistically we would be carrying them.
Request rearming. Copy.
$9099, the LS SKU button. I don't know why, but whenever I create a custom mission, it keeps revving up and down like this. Oh.
Rearming complete.
Like in and I don't know why it does that. So rearming is complete. We're gonna take off from runway probably 07. Yeah. So accept that. We have RB75 set. We're gonna put the jamming pod into preheating mode. You can see this. I think that's what it means. I set it in A and F. That means preheating. And then when you want it to be active, you put it in B and K, like BK90 is the best way to come. And then A and K is listening mode when you're doing silent recording, if you want to localize it. I say we're about good to go then. And I usually do these quicker startups nowadays, You can do all the procedures, but I kind of trust that my flight engineers probably have done their job. At least I hope so. The rest looks good, no warning lights, except for the preheat and fuel tank, which is strange. And I'm not gonna bother with any air traffic control or anything like that.
Ready? Clear to taxi to runway 7.
Because it's just me. This is by the way, this is my practice map, where I have all these different areas for the Viggen with waypoints. See, it's doing it again. There we go. Because it shouldn't take that long to load in like local textures, you would imagine. At least so I would imagine. And as always, even though there's no traffic coming, you should always check, because you never know in a multiplayer server when everyone's coming in for landing. Some people, including me, can be a bit lazy and just go in for a landing, and if it looks clear, we go in. But that depends on. So nav mode, reference, brakes on, rev up to full military power, and then full afterburner. You can do a takeoff without afterburner, but it's not very good, I find. The plane doesn't really want to take off. And we're up, so we're gonna fly low. We're gonna set 8.85. Straight ahead of us, but we're not gonna go the straight way. We'll fly into the mountains, like we said, because we do have countermeasures on us right now, but this is how you would fly anyways. Trim. I usually use the autopilot to trim the aircraft, because it trims itself then. I think that's the easiest way, just tap the autopilot on. Because now it flies on its own. And then off with the afterburner. We'll wait a few more seconds, and then we'll put the jammer on. We'll put the jammer in active mode. The way it works is that there's a cone in front of us, 60 degrees I think, where the jammer can jam a signal, and it won't actually activate until we are painted by the radar. So technically I could activate it now, but I don't really want to do that. Not that it matters, they're gonna know we're coming soon enough. And we have plenty of fuel, so let's lose some. So we're actually climbing. A bit of extra power doesn't hurt. I'm gonna prepare the drop tank by opening the cover there on the moon. I have a button on my joystick for it, so this sort of flying I really enjoy. This is why I like the Viggen so much. It's just flying like this. Flying really low. I mean, we don't have countermeasures normally, so you have to really use the terrain to mask radars and all that sort of thing. Another thing is that when you drop the fuel tank, I'm gonna demonstrate. You can drop it now. We have 105%. So if I drop it now, you see we only lost 2% there, because think the maximum fuel capacity without the tank is like 103%, which sounds strange because you would think it's 100. And I'm not sure if that's a real thing or not, but you don't have to wait until the fuel tank is at 100%. Sure, I lost 2% fuel, but the Viggen is pretty fuel efficient. You know, we have a lot of fuel to burn, and you can actually get pretty damn far. So I mean, we already burned like 25% in that lower part, but that's because of the afterburner. But if we fly like this, we can probably keep flying for at least half an hour, maybe 40 minutes even. So I'm gonna activate the jammer, turn the VK, and then that countermeasures light, Maverick countermeasure light will come up. And when that's blinking, then something is actually active, though you will hear it as well because the radar warning receiver will freak out a little bit as well. Now, in real life, I think that the jamming pod actually gives our radar warning receiver a bit more sensitivity as well. So we might be able to pick up warnings and stuff like that earlier, but I'm not sure if that's true, or if it's, especially if it's true for DCS. Because ECM stuff in this game, electronic warfare in general, is extremely simplistic. It's really just an on and off switch. And then it gives you more time to, like, the enemy takes longer to lock onto you, or fire. I mean, you have to get closer to the enemy for them to fire, which isn't always a good thing, but it can usually be, because the further you are, the more time you get. So when we have the sight on our 9 o'clock, like we are about to have, you can see it there. I think we're gonna start turning now. Because if I look on the map now, we should be directly south. Yeah, we are directly south. We are further in where I thought. So we're gonna start heading north. Just making sure that everything's running. Also check the QFE for... You might hear... Yep, there's the radar. Okay, screw the QFE. So we're gonna try and bait this missile, so we're gonna gain some speed. And we know it's out here somewhere, I think. A bit tight. So we're gonna keep an eye out for... That's the area it's supposed to be. So now let's confirm that. Where's that missile launch? There we see. His location. Now, even though this is an extremely fast missile, I think, I forget exactly how fast it travels, but it's probably about 3,500 kilometers an hour. It still takes several seconds for it to get to you, so I didn't even feel particularly scared at that moment because I was very well prepared. But it is a scary missile system to come across. So now we know roughly its location to the left of that targeting circle. So we're gonna lower our seat. Now the way that this Maverick camera works is that that dot is where it's currently centered. So if I lower it, you will see the tree line right there. Now the camera is a lot worse in later updates, and I guess that's kind of realistic, but maybe it's a bug, because, you know, this isn't a high-tech camera by modern standards. So it's time to go up again. Now we are very far away from the target, so maybe I shouldn't have turned around. But let's bait the missile launcher again. To get an even better. Have a missile launch, and why aren't we getting any alert? See, it's curving, but it's gonna hit the hill. So we're gonna keep flying towards it. And because this is I think it's a semi-active radar system, it doesn't have a radar of its own. So if it flew up high and it had a radar of its own, it could potentially detect us. But this one needs its radar to actually guide it. And apparently have drivers available to install. I see the site. Oh, I think I got a missile lock on him in time. So let's go around for a peek. We haven't gotten a target yet. Oh shit, we have to get over this hill. And we're safe. That was actually kind of scary. These Mavericks travel very slowly, and there's a good chance that it completely missed the target, which has been an issue in the later versions. There's been a lot of issues lately in DCS, which is really surprising, because there used to be a lot fewer of them. Yeah, that looks like okay. Because now we are within the max range, so we do a quick pop-up again. That radar seeing so. Now, of course, in real life there would be like two of you, so one of you baits the target, and then when he sees the launch smoke, the other pilot will basically know where he is and he can start looking for the target. So I think a system like this is so advanced that it can actually, the S300 can actually track like several targets. I'm not sure if it can launch at several targets though. That's something that I'm not too sure about. Thing is that I can't detect the radar signals until I level out. So this guy's probably been pinging me this entire time. Oh shit. I think that's good. I lost. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick pop-up again. We're losing a lot of speed here. Problem is I lost myself last time. But now we can see the smoke. Now we're gonna go really low. Use the trees for cover. Perfect, there's a river here. Well, whatever happened, we're gonna get out of here. Because we have no missiles. I think we might have gotten it, because as you can hear, yeah, I see fire. They can no longer lock onto me. So that was intense. I didn't know if the missile would hit it or not, but it clearly did its job. Now it's time to go home again. Okay, there's something locking us up. You can see the countermeasures light. So where is it? I mean, I know what it is, but I don't remember where it is. It's a gecko, SA-8 gecko. Up there it is. Go down low, up high, and repeat the same thing. And then again. And we're getting really fucking close to this guy. And then... Ooh. Ah. Come on, shoot again, you bastard. I know you have 6 missiles. I'm waiting for you. Funny thing is, I didn't even think to use countermeasures there. What's this guy doing? Oh, this is gonna be bad. Yeah. We're level 50%. Oh, look at this. Let's get out of here. Keeping an eye on you, motherfucker. Don't try anything. See, this is what I like about the Viggen, is that you have to do this. You know, you need a track IR to do this sort of thing. This would be impossible if you couldn't just look around to go beyond the hill. And we're safe. Well, we should be safe at least. Autopilot on. Jammer in. We can actually turn it off. We don't need it. And then our landing base should be just up ahead. Put the engine to idle. It should be 25 kilometers away. Yep. Right there. So we actually lined nicely. You can also, a tip if you need to lose speed, step on the rudder and then steer in the opposite direction and look at the speed gauge. Oh, that's a bit crazy. That's one way you can do it. It's a bit of a crazy maneuver. But you can do it if you need to lose speed. You have to be a little bit careful. So you do it like that. You don't lose control. But we are bleeding speed. There, and we're down to 500. Because I tried it, going from 800 to 600, it takes like 45 seconds with a speed brake. But you saw there, we were at 900 and we went down to 500 in a lot faster than 45 seconds. It is risky to do though, and don't do it in, you know, transonic speeds, obviously. That kind of is a given. That would be really stupid. So it's basically you put rudder, put the in the opposite direction. Oh, now we're doing really 300. We're a lot slower than I thought. And basically it creates a lot of drag. And this is how some old school pilots, you know, this is how they land all the time when they were flying older planes. Because speed brakes don't really do the trick always. Turn radar altimeter on just because. Coming for a nice approach. Speed. You can actually see here, the further the fin is from the plane, that means you're too fast. So if I lower the speed a little bit, that fin should sink right into the plane there. And that's kind of your indication. Now, the thing is, I don't trust any like automated systems, you know, especially in broad daylight like this. I mean, in zero visibility conditions, you have to trust it, of course. But I generally just go by feeling. So now we can tell we're too high. Well then, throttle down a little bit. You keep the pitch of the plane, and you see that the plane drops. And we speed up a little bit. Lower the hub blast. And you can see the fin is now too low. And this is kind of the speed we're supposed to hold. I mean, this is the angle of attack indicator, and we're supposed to maintain about 16 degrees on takeoff landing. So we do. I usually put the speed brake out, and then I throttle up instead. And then put pressure on brakes. And so then when you land, you can make an extremely short. We didn't land before the first taxiway, but we're not too far off.
Enfield 1-1.
Now normally you would never do this sort of thing, but I'm just gonna do it for the sake of this video. Normally you would taxi to the end, but we have nobody else in the sky, so we don't really have to follow any regulations at the moment. Yeah, speed brake in, BAR mode, nav mode. And there we go. So we're just gonna taxi to the first parking here, and then I guess we'll let the ground crew deal with the rest. Any stress damage that we would have taken from the missile avoidance, I guess I will have to decide. Because this is very taxing on the aircraft. You could hear it creaking when I was avoiding missiles. And that's when you exceed 7 Gs, which you shouldn't. Now, I don't think you can see. No, I can't. Yeah. Basically, the way it's supposed to work is that you have 2 needles that measure the maximum Gs you pull, but it obviously doesn't work. So yeah, that's it for me. I have a nice little tutorial on how to take down a radar missile system on your own. Now, the more people you have, the easier it gets. We could have nuked the entire site if we would have had several planes. But I also got to show a little bit how the jamming system works, which I'm happy with. So overall, jamming and SEAD tutorial on how to take down missile systems, and a little bit of missile avoidance. So I hope this was helpful and that you enjoyed it, and that it, well, helps you deal with these situations yourself. And be brave, experiment with air defenses, be brave, you know, but don't be suicidal, don't be foolish, don't fly at them for too long. Know how long the missile takes for it to get to you. So anyways, I'll see you next time. Badjo out.